everyone, welcome to Hunter Gatherer Cooking, where today we're going to have a little bit of fun to find out which is the best charcoal. I'll give you a bit of a backstory.
So in a nutshell, I had one of these bags delivered from Globaltic, which I think is a newish company to us in the UK. So what better than putting it head to head with the regular bigk charcoal that I normally use. It's not quite a fair comparison because obviously that's applewood charcoal, which, you know, arguably could taste different to whatever whatever this is. Both boast to be 100% natural. So what I've done is I've devised a list.
And the list I wrote down here, I'm going to judge it on the following. So, light time. So, because I haven't got two chimney starters, I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way, put it into the Weber kettle with a firelighter in each side. So, to the left will be one, to the right will be another. And then I'll time, you know, when I feel that it's ready to go, we'll see if there's a difference in how long it takes to actually get to that point. I'm going to time the overall burn time, so from lighting it to, again, a point down the line when the meat's cooked and everything's done. We'll take a sort of a point of when we sort of feel that it's, you know, gone out, as it were. So we'll try and measure that time. I'm going to measure the highest set point time, that's what I'm calling it. So basically at a set point, I'm going to measure the temperature and to see if there's a difference, see if one burns any hotter than the other. We're going to measure the taste of the meat, see if we prefer any particular one over the other, see if there's any difference in taste or flavours. I'm going to measure the chunkiness, so I'm going to open the bags in a minute and we're going to open the chunkiness of the actual charcoal. And then I wrote down ash volume, so I guess, you know, I thought we'll just see how much ash is left over. Whether that makes any difference, I don't know. But that's the measures.
So the first thing I need to do is cut these open. We'll have a little look inside, see if there's any noticeable differences.
Okay, and before anyone sort of says he's got too much time, yes, I do have too much time, but this is just a bit of fun.
And then, ladies, who wants to go first? What shall we do? Let's do the bigk. Let's see that one first. So I've tried to move it into the light so you can see. As you can see, really decent bits of charcoal in there. I'm gonna smell it because I've never smelt it before. I'm gonna see if there's a difference in smell as well. I doubt it, but no, pretty much just smells as it is. But again, decent sized chunks in there. Yeah, not bad. Okay, so moving over to the Globaltic one. The first thing that I'm noticing is that those chunks are definitely bigger. I would say as well, I don't know if you can see that, I would say that they're more consistently bigger as well. Let's try and make that a bit brighter, there you go. So I would say that they're consistently bigger, you know, in terms of the actual size of them. Again, I'm going to smell this, probably pointless. There is actually a difference. That's strange. I don't know how to describe this. That's more of a cavey sort of smell, whereas this one is more neutral.
Okay, so the next bit, we're going to get a bit scientific. So if we're going to start measuring temperature and things like that, what I've got, to try and make it as even and as fair as possible, I've got a set of scales and a bowl.
And what I'm going to try and do is basically try and use, try and use the same amount of charcoal on each side of the Weber BBQ. So let's just set that to grams. I'm just going to initially grab an amount that I think is right for this, and then I'll try and measure an equal volume of the other one. So I think that's probably enough, bearing in mind that's going to be half
the amount that we're going to use. So I think that should be enough. So let's pop that on the scales. 730 grams. Okay, 730. Let's put a little bit more in. Okay, we're at 1013. I'm going to take that bit out. Yes, I'll take that. 998. 998. So that is the bigk charcoal. Sorry, I should have said that earlier. So that's the bigk, 999.98 grams there. So I'm going to put that into the Weber kettle now. Okay, let's take those over, and then I'll try and do it so that the bag was on the right. So let's put the coals on the right. There's a decent amount of charcoal. It's going to get pretty hot in here. Let's just pile that up. And then I'll put a firelighter in the middle, cover it all up. We'll do it the old-fashioned way, as I said. And with the Globaltic one, so I've emptied that. You can see that 0. Right. So that's 849. There you go. I don't know if you can see that because the sun's come out. So that's hovering on literally 1,000 grams, 999. So I hope you're happy that that's roughly even. So that's the Globaltic rubber. That's the two set up. Probably using too much charcoal for this, but it's an experiment, so why not? I think you can tell the difference between the two, but I mean, I haven't really touched these bags, but obviously in the bigk you have got these much smaller nuggets, whereas on the Globaltic, definitely chunkier. So the next thing is to get the meat ready. Okay, so there's the meat. It's actually 2 pieces of rump steak from John Thorner's Butchers in Pyle. And all I've done is cut them in half because we've got a couple of things going on today. So we're going to try this barbecue bear rub. I'll see if I can find some links for it, but it's come from Alaska, from a family holiday. So we're going to try that on some of it, and we're also then just going to put some salt, pepper, garlic just over on both sides. So that rump is pretty much room temperature, but it's now time to light these and see what happens. Okay, so it's pretty much 12:30 on the nose at the moment. I do cheat, I use a little blowtorch to get these going. I put 2 firelighters in both just to really get this going. I'm gonna just pile those up around now. Haven't done it like this for a while, because obviously we need our chimney starters. Obviously it's a lot faster on a chimney starter. Whilst I'm thinking about it, I have recently just done a page on the hunter-gatherer cooking website. I'll put the link in below, and it's got all the gadgets and things that we need. We don't need them, but they make life so much sweeter when we barbecue. Let me know sort of how many gadgets you've got. If there's something not on there, let me know what you use, and I'll chuck it on the page for you and hopefully help others. So we're just going to let that go now. So Globaltic, bigk, 12:30. We'll see what happens now. Okay, so we're literally about 2 minutes in, and I reckon I can see some differences. I think the Globaltic is burning, I would say, a lot more aggressively than the bigk. That's sort of fairly slow and, well, not slow and steady, but fairly steady. But there's definitely more coming out of that side. Smoke-wise, I'd say there's more coming out of the bigk. Is that good or bad? I don't know. Okay, so I did just put the thermometer, I tried it in both, but basically it's too hot, so it maxed out in there, so that's a shame. But we're about 10 minutes in now. They've burnt really nicely. Again, that to me looks hotter than that one. I don't know if it's worth doing the... Yeah, miles hotter.
So that's really interesting. Really interesting. Okay, another thing that I've noticed, if you look on this side, it's a brown ash compared to the white ash on the Big K. So again, no idea what that means. Right, so we're 25 minutes in now. Interestingly, the Big K has spread pretty evenly now, whereas perhaps the tops of the Globaltic one hasn't. They're both hot as hell now. I don't know if I could tell the difference actually on those. But again, you can definitely see the colour. I suppose that could just be because this was an apple wood, and I've just found out that this is from birch wood. Both are sustainable, which is good. So we're going to even those out now and get the grill on, then get the meat on. Right, so there's the steaks. That's the bare rub, and then this is just salt, pepper, garlic. And the plan is to put those two basically over there like that. I'll try and do this as quickly as possible. Here we are, first turn. Obviously really hot here. Still feels good inside. Those will be coming off in a second. Right, I'm going to cool that now and get these rested. So that was the left. Oh, that was the right. So this was the Big K. There we are. So there's the two. They've come out all right. This one is actually a bit thinner, so they're slightly different, but let's see how they taste. So, plated up, we got the Globaltic one here, the Big K one here. Let's dig in, see if there's any taste difference. Okay, we'll start with the Big K one. It's a nice rump.
No.
And now the Globaltic. I don't think there's any taste difference whatsoever. Absolutely zero. Okay, so we're about 2.5 hours from originally lighting the coals now. So interestingly, the Big K has got a nice glow to it, still nice bit of heat there, but the Globaltic has dropped right down pretty much to nothing now. I'm going to take the grill off. Okay, so I'm going to measure some of this ash now with a poke test. So if you look at that piece as an example, obviously that's pretty whole. So obviously the larger chunks have stayed large and not burnt, whereas the Big K, a lot of this is just ash now. So if we tidy that up, we look at how much, there you go, I think that sums it up perfectly. Interestingly, let's just do a final. Yeah, so interestingly, that tiny amount there has still got more heat than all of that hasn't burnt through. That is massively noticeable. Okay, so back in the garage, we haven't talked about price. This is about £18 for the 10 kilos, and I think this was about £18.50. Certainly not more than £19 for the 12 kilos. That's obviously a factor. Now, if I refer back to my little list that I was talking about, we'll sort of go through it. So, light time, I think they pretty much lit at the same sort of time. I wouldn't have said there was much differences there. Burn time, I think we've probably summarised that the Big K has probably a longer burn time and a higher heat burn time anyway. Highest set point temperature, I couldn't actually measure that, but the Globaltic definitely burned hotter quicker. Whether there was much difference sort of halfway through, it's hard to tell, because obviously it was all in one kettle, so it's not entirely a fair test. Taste
well, as I said, couldn't taste any difference in the actual meat, so it's not like one tasted any better. Chunkiness, I think we've talked that through more than enough, and the ash volume. So the great thing about that is there's not loads of differences in these two charcoals. They're both great charcoals. I couldn't really fault either of them at all, but there must be a winner, right? I'm actually going to call this a draw because they were different woods. They were both fantastic charcoals, but they served two different purposes. So if you want a charcoal that clearly gets hotter than hell very quickly, and you're happy for that to burn out, I won't say quickly, but quicker than the other one, then you would go with the Globaltic one. If you want a charcoal that still gets hotter than hell, but takes perhaps a little bit longer and then burns through for longer, then you would go for the bigk. They are both fantastic charcoals, like truly fantastic. They are miles better than the crap that you get at the supermarket sometimes and things like that. So I hope as a viewer you're happy with this this tie-break decision, or draw I should say, and it's for good reason. I think it's for good reason. Hope you've enjoyed this. I've weirdly, interestingly learned quite a bit about charcoal. I was expecting not a lot of difference, to be fair, but there's been some massive differences in these two charcoals. One burns hot and quick, and the other one burns hot and slow, I suppose. So it just depends on what you want, really. Thanks for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. That's really important to me. Put some comments below. Let me know what you think of all this. If there's anything you think I could try differently, then let me know. Again, if you're a business watching this and you want me to run a weird experiment like this, again, let me know. And I'll see you soon. Thank you.